I'm a bit of a fan of a theme, as opposed to randomly wittering on, which is fine. I mean, it's Edinburgh. So the theme of our little chat, plan A. Nothing has stayed to plan A so far, but is the kind of the difference language makes in comedy, and not, you know, being funny in different languages, being funny in a second language, or, I mean, you speak about 24 languages, don't you?
Yeah, a couple dozen.
So what do you speak? Go on.
You know what, I'm not fluent in all of these anymore, but
Yeah,
at one
you
point,
see, we're backing down.
Have you told her? She's going to test me. How many languages do you speak?
Are we going to, it's basically voulez-vous coucher avec moi, and that's it. You know,
Actually, my French is my second strongest language.
okay, so English,
French, and then I grew up, my first languages ever were Gujarati, Hindi, and Kutchi.
Okay.
And then along the way, just living circumstances and life circumstances, I
As you do.
learned Swahili and Spanish, but not fluently ever for those.
Unasema Kiswahili?
Really?
Mimi nafanya kazi ya charity na wanawake chini sana kwa Kenya.
Yeah, Swahili. Wow.
Oh yeah,
That's
we're bonding. We're bonding.
Well, I want to bond as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
This threw me off.
Lakini
Sorry guys, this is going to be just us now.
yeah, okay.
Do you not speak Swahili? Do you not speak Swahili? Sorry.
The entire interview will now be conducted in Swahili. So yeah, I run a charity and it's based in Kenya.
Okay.
And number one, I love different languages. You know, and actually it's the whole Swahili thing that made me want to do this, because that then made me think of you. And in Yuriko's first year, I watched you do, did you do So You Think You're Funny, or?
I did, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
and you had, I'm not going to do it, but maybe you can remind us, this wonderful section about how the English have this suffix ish, you know, so it's,
I love it.
and there's no ish in Japanese.
No, so we have the word like around or about, but ish is so different from roundabout. It's something, yes, like
There's a judgment in it.
it's judgment. And once I learned, I overused because I love ish so much.
But it's and there's in loads of different languages, there just are bits of things that you can do in English that don't exist.
Yeah, that's right.
And different, I mean, like in Swahili, if you want to say very, very, very something, you just go sana sana, you just repeat the word to indicate, you know, the extent. Japanese looks like a terrifying language, quite honestly.
I think, yes, I think speaking is not too bad, but like reading or writing maybe, but we can practice together.
Yeah,
And then at the end of the Edinburgh, you'll be like,
It also seems, and please don't take this the wrong way, like a language that doesn't necessarily lend itself to hilarious witticisms and stand-up comedy.
So to me, I fell in love with British comedy so much because we think that British comedy is quite witty, yes, as you said, or like a dark sense of humor. Or sarcasm.
Yes.
I just fell in love, and because I haven't seen that kind of sense of humor in Japan much.
What kind of, you do clowns, or is it physical humor in?
Clowning, physical humor, or like, yes, how do you say, talking?
Yeah.
Yes, but for example, sarcasm in usual conversation in Japanese, we don't really do sarcasm much, so...
So what do you do? What do you do?
I wouldn't say anything.
What do you do?
What do you don't do sarcasm?
How do you communicate?
Grief.
But then how do you express yourself.
Well, exactly.
But how do you be passive aggressive? Without passive aggression, I'd never say anything.
Yes, I learned.
Couldn't you then take it back? You could take sarcasm back into Japan.
This is an import.
I think that I will try, and I will get updated.
Keep us updated.
Keep you updated.
And on how many friends you lose with
But there's a risk with that. If you're the first person to be sarcastic, they won't know you're being sarcastic. So you'll be like, yeah, that dress is really nice. And then people just think,
oh, thank you very much.
oh, thanks. So they'll just think you're really nice.
Yeah, it won't work. You gotta
Great idea.
I'm sure they already do.
Just say good things, and then in my head it's either way.
And Jamie, it's a very, I don't mean this to sound negative, odd combination. I don't think I've ever met a Swiss Indian person or an Indian Swiss, a Swindian.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I obviously know a few because I've got three sisters. But apart from that, I've not.
And how are they coping with it? But the other thing is, of all the countries I think on the planet, you go, yeah, the Swiss are renowned for their hilarious comedy. No. So what you Swiss German, Swiss French,
Swiss German. So my dad's side of the family are from Zurich. So yeah, have you ever been?
Zurich.
Zurich.
You know, those of us who speak German say Zurich.
Zurich. Yeah.
Far from me. So do you speak?
No,
Schweizerdeutsch, which is quite unpleasant sometimes.
So I didn't realise this, but like Swiss German has got the same reputation as like a Brummie accent or something. Like people are not a fan of it. I like a Brummie accent, but no, I should. So like obviously in India they speak tons of languages. In Switzerland they speak like 4. And I can only speak 1, which is the one I'm speaking now. I know it's so bad, but when I was at school, my parents were sort of teaching us.
Sorry, who booped this? How on earth are we going to talk?
When you said it was about language, I was a bit like, okay.
I did notice you looked slightly dubious.
But I would say I'm from.
You only speak English.
Well, I'm also from Staines, which is very big on slang. So I guess that's like a second language.
Oh God, that's not a language. It's slang.
It's not a language. The language of Staines. It's a different thing.
So say something in Staines.
Say something in Staines. Well, I guess the main thing, I don't know if you've seen Ali G, but we can all do this in Staines.
No.
Have you seen this? That's on the curriculum. That's the first
I guess
thing.
I speak Staines then.
Exactly. So now you know what Staines is like just from hearing about it.
So it's not heavy on the verbals and the witticisms. It's more the
It's not the language of poets.
And your main claim to fame is what, a white guy that browned up.
And I am actually white, by the way. This is.
Oh, I knew that. Hence, because pretty much it's only white people that only speak one language, which is English, and think that's enough.
Yeah, and me.
And
so that's why that just proves it.
You don't really belong on this couch. Bring down the team.
It's not actually my fault though, right? So I was at school. My mum was teaching me my mum speaks Kannada and Hindi. She was teaching those to me. But our teacher actually said to my mum, like, the thing is, Jamie's only got room for one language in his little tiny stupid brain. I don't think they used that exact wording, I'll be honest. But they were like, just speak English around him when he's young because it will confuse him otherwise. So imagine that. So that's.
We need to name and shame this teacher. At least name and shame the school.
Although, I mean, I have to say that the same thing. I mean, this is why my other languages I lost. My first languages were Gujarati, Hindi, and Kutchi. That's 3 already. Thank you. Before the one you speak. No big deal. When I went on to learn English, the same thing happened as my parents, because they had a lot of trouble growing up with their accents, that they worked really hard to get rid of them. That when we went to school, they realized, you know what, if we don't start speaking English at home, these kids are not going to keep up. So we started speaking English at home, and that's why my other languages I'm not, as fluent in anymore, because we didn't practice. So similar experience in the sense of like trying to, it's like the assimilation. And it's one of the downfalls of assimilation is that you end up losing that which is where you come from, right?
It is kind of a double-edged sword, because especially when you're a kid, you don't want to be other, and you don't want to be the one with the funny voice or whatever. But it is the way everything dies. And I mean, how... Sorry, this is getting a little bit depressing.
Yeah.
But this is, we're now veering far from time. But if everything is it's like the Borg, you know? If I'm telling from your blank faces you're not Star Trek Voyager fans?
You know,
Okay, I'll move on. Anyway, resistance is futile. It's another Borg saying. But
I feel like that sounds...
That's another language. Can you speak?
Borg.
Was it?
Oh,
what's the
Klingon.
Klingon. That's it.
No,
Yeah.
I can't.
Maybe you should add that next time. That'd be
Well, it's difficult. You see, I like to learn languages by speaking to native speakers. Klingon's kind of thin on the ground.
You've got to travel a long way to meet some Klingons.
Yeah. But when everybody is assimilated and everybody sounds the same, and then there's nothing. I think difference is wonderful, and to be treasured.
Yeah.
Not put in a hierarchy, but there must be a million things. Like you were saying, you'd never experienced sarcasm. So to find and to play with the differences, when obviously not you, because you only speak one language. For the linguists. Well, I'll find something to talk to you about.
You need to know what language you can speak.
Cheese. Swiss cheese.
Well, I'm a vegan.
Oh,
Don't even
God.
eat cheese.
Okay, well, listen. It's been nice to have you here.
I'll be off.
So you're a monolingual vegan.
Yeah, I'm not selling the show at all.
No,
am
you're
I?
not. Actually, what is the show about?
It's all about being at school. It's all about being a teenager, and it's about my first crush at school. It's also about I was in a really awful emo band when I was like 15, and it's about that as well. So yeah, I think I'm definitely the biggest loser on this so far.
I love this.
Not that I'm keeping score, but so tell us about the emo band.
So it was all in a bid to impress. So basically, me and all of my friends all fancied the same girl. So to impress her, we started a terrible emo band, and
that's tragic.
To impress one person.
To impress one person.
Everyone's rival.
Who is this woman?
What were you hoping for some kind of gangbang?
No, I think we were probably 15, incapable of conveying what we actually, our emotions or our feelings.
You had emotions at 15?
In a 15-year-old boy sense, where it's mainly just getting angry at your mates and then secretly being sad.
Right. Okay. So you created this emo band.
Yeah.
What was it called?
We were called Tear Me Down. Yeah. Pretty rock and
Yeah.
roll. Yeah.
Suitably depressing.
Really depressing. Like the music wasn't depressing, but like watching us, really depressing. Like because this is a tragic. Yeah, I play them in the show.
You play your
I'm coming.
Definitely.
I can't stress enough how when I play the songs and people like laugh at them, I'm like, actually, I spent ages on that riff. So actually, it's really good. And if
This
you
is
think
not
about
the
it,
funny bit.
Did you write lyrics?
I've written the lyrics because the singer's doing a really bad American accent throughout, so I've put the lyrics up.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's, in a way, that is incredibly brave. I mean, because even although, you know, as you get older, you go, that was actually a little bit sad or sad-ish.
Yeah.
It's still not for other people to laugh at your heartfelt outpouring.
Yeah. My musings. Yeah, no, it was good. Also, we were just friends as well, so it was quite fun being in the band. We once did a gig in Birmingham, right? And we thought we were being paid £30, which when you're 15 is loads of money. Even though split between 6 people, that's £5 each.
£5 each.
A train to Birmingham would cost significantly more than £5. But we got there. It turns out we owed them £30. I know. So we had to.
It sounds like the comedy circuit.
Right?
But
Pay to play.
It was the most rock and roll thing we've ever done because we had to go up to my mate's mum had a van. She picked us up and dropped us off. We had to go up to her like, we need to get out of here. We don't have £30. So after we finished our set, we had to run away from the venue to get in the van. We were like, Jane, drive.
Oh, that's so cool.
Birmingham. It was pretty cool. It's the most rock and roll thing I've ever done in my life.
That's great.
And I've been doing comedy a while now. So nothing has ever come
Nothing's ever come close to
Not
that.
even close. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, no, you see, I'm very, very tempted to come and listen to these emo songs.
Please do. Maybe, would you like them, do you reckon? Are you into any of that kind of stuff? Awful emo music?
I do like, I was very, can't believe I'm saying this. I really liked folk music. I loved the time. Especially Scottish folk, which was always about everybody dying and slain and whole clans dying in the snow. And because Scotland has basically screwed up everything it's ever tried to do in terms of, it's like, let's get, we'll break away from England. No, you won't. We'll just hammer you in various. So there's a lot of very sad Scottish music. But I like Drich, Scottish word. I speak Lallans, which is a Scottish kind of language. Drich. It is depressing, kind of ish. So when you came to the UK, were you fluent in English speaking, or did you learn here, or?
Not really. So we learn English in school, but more like, I guess, American English. I guess. Yeah. So when I heard, the word rubbish, I was like, what is? Or yes,
pants.
Pants, yes, trousers, lifts, elevator,
purse, all of those.
All those. So yes, a lot to.
But you see, all of that kind of in the hands of a talented writer is fuel for comedy.
Absolutely. Yes. We can talk about the difference of what you learned, what you enjoyed learning.
Absolutely. And do you so yours was, where are you from?
Where are you from, yeah.
And you get that a lot?
That's probably, of all the questions I've ever been asked in my life, if you pile them all together, it's an equal weight to the question of where you're from, of like every single question I've ever been asked, which is, it's fine. It's not, and I say this in my show off the top, it's not something that I find offensive. It's just very hard for me to answer. And I'm like, how much time you got?
I mean, was there a lot of defaulting on rent or something? Because you seem to have lived something of a peripatetic existence.
I often people are like, army brat? And I'm like, no.
Nobody moves that much unless you're running away from something.
I feel like that was it, but I knew not to ask too many questions.
Okay.
So I just went with it. You just go with the flow. But I did move around a lot growing up, and then I kind of became a very nomadic person just as a result. When you live that kind of life, that's the rhythm that you know. You need the change. You need the standing still for too long would always make me feel
speaking one language for too long.
You know what I mean? At what point? But it was so then I started working as a flight attendant, so that I could continue this sort of gypsy life. Wow. So I've been kind of just bouncing around and now I'm touring as a comedian always, right? I literally, like, when COVID happened and the lockdowns happened, I went back to Toronto and I was there in March, and then by the time we hit end of June, which was 3 months, I was like, this is the longest I've stayed in one city consecutively in over 15 years.
Wow.
3 months. It just never occurred to me. I never did the math on it. It was just the way that I live. Always packing and unpacking. It's
we call it homeless.
Yes. Okay, I was trying to put a new spin on it, but okay. So when I was homelessing, it was, it only lasted about 15 years.
A phase. And you learned from it and moved on.
Yeah, right? Or moved. But moved in. I was like, oh, shelter, what's this? But no, it's cool. I've also been performing in French as well.
That was my next question. Do you perform in any of these other languages?
Yeah, so I just started doing comedy in French just before the pandy, and then that came to a halt, obviously. So I haven't had as much opportunity as I'd hoped to, in the sense of going to French-speaking places to perform. I know that once I go, that there'll be plenty of opportunity for me.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, when I was in Montreal, I was so well received by folks there, and I was so happy to see how well, you know, the comedy translated, right? I was like, what? Like, do you ever do yours in
Japanese?
In Japanese or just in?
Not yet.
Not yet?
I'd love to, but probably I think I have to write completely new
in Japanese.
In Japanese.
You
language,
see,
yes.
this is because things that are funny. So much comedy in English is wordplay.
Oh,
Is
yes,
that-
yes.
You know, is
Well,
that
that's
possible
it.
in Japanese?
Wordplay. I can try, but yes, probably I have to explain maybe.
Yeah.
Yes.
That kind of sits on a gag if you have
Yeah,
to
you're gonna
do.
love to explain a joke.
Yeah,
That's my favorite thing.
Long setup.
Do you
Where's the
explain
joke?
before or after?
Yeah, right. Yeah. The reason that was funny is
I'm about to do a play on words. So what a play on words is.
yeah, exactly. Or you just have a board that goes, it's funny in English.
Yeah.
Funny in English. I love that.
Yes.
I might get one of those for myself, to be fair. It's monolingual. I promise that is funny.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I was gonna say, so you're here for the first time. You're doing an hour for the first time.
Yeah, doing my first solo show.
What did you do the last time you were here?
So last time I was here was 2019. I did a double header, so it's me and my friend Chelsea Birkby. Just did like.
How many languages does she speak?
I reckon. Do you know what? She has a bit. She has a bit about French, so I actually reckon she's
Oh, well, there we go.
bilingual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you need to hang out with these two.
Yeah. Is that all right?
And
Can we be friends?
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody that you don't speak other languages.
Okay, right.
Just
If I want to
pretend.
hang out with the cool kids,
Just
I'll
pretend you speak. I'll speak to you in one of my languages, and you just say things like
just nod.
TV.
And you've got your funny in English signs,
Yeah.
so I know when to laugh.
Absolutely. And you're practically a veteran, aren't you?
I'm like,
Okay, that's a big deal.
So this is my second year. So I did the debut show in, I was gonna say last year, but 2019. Yes, but I did like a
Mixed bill.
or work in progress shows previously. Yes. So this is my
Excellent.
second.
So your show this year is what and where and when? Just because this is now the pluggy
Oh
bit.
yes.
You know, you're not getting paid for this, but you do get to plug your show.
Yes.
English and Japanese, if you like.
Yes.
For our international viewers.
Oh, yes. So it's called Kaiju About, and it's at Pleasance Tendom at 7:10 p.m. Please come and say hello. お願いします.
Nice.
In any of your languages.
Oh, sure. I mean, I'll just do them all six. Sorry, buddy. We're gonna run out of time for you, but thanks for coming along. You know? I'm gonna do Where You From. It's gonna be at the Tron at 7:40 p.m. every night except for the 15th. That is the one night I'm taking off. But every other night I'll be there, and would be so happy for y'all to join. I'll make you laugh, and we'll be a good time. Yeah.
Cool. I'll be doing mine in English, if that's all right.
It's like, you know, it worked for Sean Connery. You always imagined him when he got a script through. Yes, this is Chinese, Tibetan monk, and you go, I think I'll do this Scottish. So nothing wrong with English.
That's fine. So I'm actually the exact same time as Yuriko, so you've got to see us one day after the other.
Yep.
But I'm also 7:10 at Pleasance Courtyard, and my show is called Stop Drawing Willies on My Poster.
That is brilliant. Why did you call it that?
Because I'm an idiot, basically.
No. You're not very good with languages, but you're not an idiot.
Well, we'll see. And the show's super silly show. It's not like a serious show, and it's.
That's good because it's in the comedy section.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, and the poster's a picture of me like going like that. So hopefully people will actually
Draw
some willies
willies.
on the poster.
This
Yeah.
is advertising genius. How wonderful.
I love it. I'm gonna find your poster and draw
Please,
on it.
Yeah, there will
please
be.
do.
Now, so what we're going to do now is we're going to say bye-bye. You can do English. You can do anything you like. You're Japanese, and I'll do Swahili.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
kwaherini.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Okay.
I know a little
Sayonara!
bit.
You can smell the cheese from here.